Danemark est l'un des pays les plus innovateurs malgré sa population peu nombreuse.
En plus d'être le peuple le plus heureux au monde, les Danois se démarquent par leur technologie, leur implication environnementale, leur culture
et bien sûr leurs femmes. Nos recherches nous ont menés à réaliser des entrevues avec des Danoises et Danois ayant séjourné au Canada.
Nous avons ensuite effectué l'exercice inverse avec des Nord-Américains séjournant présentement au Danemark.
And where do you study?
I study at Aarhus University.
Chicago, I go to Purdue University, and last spring I studied in Denmark for 5 months at Copenhagen Business School. I'm studying finance.
Vidéo? Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Are you studying there?
No, I just went to.
They travel like crazy, and especially when they're young, they have this tradition of going for a year or more somewhere.
J'ai vécu ici toute l'année, mais comme une grosse partie de ma vie a tout le temps été passée au Danemark parce que la plus grande partie de ma vie est là, le Danemark.
Well, Denmark has an interesting approach to innovation and research, and that is that their strategy is not to be all things to all people. They have some strong areas, and then there's programs, university programs and so on that support those. Mm-hmm. But you may have a specific interest that doesn't match that, and then you're going to find very hard to find an education. Well, maybe you may not even find the education, or you may not be satisfied with the quality of it. You may not find job opportunities out of it. Mm. But yeah, like you said, wind power is one. Traditionally, mobile phones and all kinds of radio technology and so on. That's been another big one. Mm-hmm. Biotech and of course, then there's shipping and fish industries and so on. There's also a lot of.
Is that they're educating every single person that there is that they can. So they're trying to basically push as much education to the society as possible, so as to enable them to innovate.
Les Danois sont considérés comme les gens les plus heureux du monde et ils associent souvent cette statistique au fait qu'ils vivent au jour le jour et qu'ils ne fixent pas leurs attentes trop hautes.
You can see it in the grading system. It's actually, they have this what's that, 5-point scale? They've changed it since I've been there. I think it's a 5 scale now, or maybe it's a 7-point scale. But anyway, the numbers are funny. But when they're actually defining what the characteristics are, if you receive this grade or that grade or that grade, when you get, to give you an idea of the top couple grades, the one is described as something like understands contributes to the subject area with some, an original perspective or original, not research, but perspective or something like this. And that the next lowest grade is something like that. And if you think about that philosophically, it's actually quite different from what you experience in Canada, because in Canada it's more about, learning whatever the material is.
Exactly.
And of course you have that in Denmark to an extent, but especially when you get into university and so forth. But in fact, even in the younger grades, even in high school and so on, there's a big focus on original thought and expressing your opinions and this sort of thing, which for me sets Denmark. And I think it's true for all the Scandinavian countries, but I can obviously only speak for Denmark. That's really something that makes it distinct, and it you notice it in the Danes, because that's why they're very opinionated, and that's why they're so successful, I think, because to have this problem-solving perspective, you might call it. Even problem-solving isn't the right word. It's more this understanding perspective, that you have to understand issues and understand problems and so forth. So it's quite unique.
Is a country which you can say is very different from other countries in one respect, which is social security, and it's very it's a welfare state. Let's put it that way, and And I guess what makes people happy is that you get to you get to give away all responsibilities, really.
Mhm.
So you don't pay for your social security, you don't pay for school, you don't pay for healthcare, you don't pay for actually nothing, really.
Okay.
Which I guess makes a lot of people happy.
And I really liked about the country was probably just, you know, the history. I already talked about the architecture a lot, and their way of life is also very different over there. It's very relaxed. You know, life is a lot slower over there. For example, what is a good example? Okay, the crime rate. Take that for example. It's incredibly low in Copenhagen. Now, if you go out on the streets, you don't see many people. You don't see a lot of cars going everywhere. Nothing is very hectic. It's a lot quieter than say Chicago is, or really any city in the U.S. And I'm not sure if that's as a result of their conservative culture or their high criminal penalties. I don't know what that is, but I kind of like that. It was very relaxed over there.
C'est le mode de vie au Danemark, c'est vraiment ça qui m'attire le plus. L'égalité des gens, comme tu peux être né de n'importe quelle famille, tu vas avoir la même chance. Aux études, admettons, tu peux faire ce que tu veux. Puis il y a vraiment un grand sentiment, comme tout le monde partage les mêmes idées. Grand partage de valeurs. Vers le Canada, c'est plus comme les grands espaces que tu trouves pas autant au Danemark, mais en tant que c'est vrai que les Canadiens sont aussi comme très chaleureux, mais les Danois, ils ont leur propre manière d'être chaleureux.
My opinion, both personally and based on what I've seen in Denmark, is that anyone who wants to raise tuition fees is just simply on the wrong track. I mean, they just don't get it. That when you have a free education system, I mean, there's let's say that there's other ways to filter than just by tuition. So. When you look at the way that Denmark's able to compete, and the way that you just look at the GDP figures and this kind of thing, the average income and so forth, it's clear that Denmark's among the richest countries in the world.
Copenhagen Business School actually brought in a lot of exchange students. But I'd have to say that overall, just from my experience with the city, I didn't see a lot of foreigners there. Right. It was mostly all the stereotypes that you'd see, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, that kind of thing, the standard Scandinavian type people. How did they read more?
Okay.
I think it's much easier to be a foreigner in Denmark now than 10 years ago, but I just think it's even easier now. And it's debatable. I mean, it's still a big issue.
The business environment in Denmark is quite friendly. The tax rates on business is 25%.
Yeah, I heard that. It's really easy to open a business.
Yeah, it's you can do it online. You don't even have to sign a paper. It's just you register, you want to have a business, and there you go. And then you basically go ahead. You can get a bank account. It's for free as well, especially for young people. So the region Aarhus, where I'm from, it's the highest density of entrepreneurs. There's a lot of people.
Well, let's say to open a business, it's extremely easy. I mean, in the time that you're asking me this question, I can almost open a company. Go online and fill out the form, and that's it.
Okay.
So it's pretty good. The tax rates for companies are extremely competitive. I think it's 25 or 30% is the corporate tax rate, which is quite low. And especially considering that taxes in general in Denmark are extremely high, the corporate tax rate is certainly very friendly compared to that. Of course, there is some. I would still say in general it's easy. Of course.
education. We get free when you want to go to the hospital. It's for free. You don't have to pay elder care. You don't have to pay to go to childcare. Childcare.
Childcare. Yeah.
So all of that is free, and if let's say for some reason I can't work, the government would pay me just as much money as I would make on a regular job for not working. And the government would always support you. People pay so much taxes, and it's becoming a problem now because a lot of people, they don't work and they get more money from the government not working.
In general, yes. I mean, people, of course, I think there's definitely 50% of the population that would love to see, slightly lower taxes. But of course, if you said, yeah, would you like lower taxes, and this and this and this and this will be the consequence, they might be less enthusiastic about it. Okay. But I personally, I think it's extremely positive. I mean, in Denmark. Now, in Canada, if it was to happen tomorrow, it would probably be terrible because there wouldn't be the structure to support it. But because there's such a strong structure in the different areas of society where it really makes a difference, and I would say that's, of course, education, like you said, having children, bringing up kids, that has a huge impact. The way there's a whole kind of social daycare network set up, and I think you're paying about a third of the price, I don't know, between a quarter and a third or something like that. And the rest is subsidized by the government. Okay. And that has a huge impact. And I mean, for example, the biggest impact is the fact that women in Denmark stay home for a year and then they go back to work. I mean, you'll find almost I don't think I've ever met a stay-at-home mom in Denmark. So, that has a huge economic impact right there. And then, of course, the pension and so on when you get older. And the healthcare system, not that it's so different from Canada when it comes down to it, but those would probably be the big four areas where the money's making a difference. Okay. But definitely, education, childcare, and pension, those are the three really, really big ones. Okay. And I mean, you can see or you can imagine what the result of that can be.
En fait, le Danemark est un pays très innovateur et avant-gardiste. Nous avons appris à le connaître grâce à ce projet. Bien qu'il y ait certaines différences culturelles entre le Québec et ce pays scandinave, nous avons plusieurs traits en commun.